Hey, you guys. So I just want to talk again, and sorry if you hear a noise. I have my fan on, but I want to talk about this thing again. There's a lot of men that are. I don't really feel comfortable when you have these men, these older men that constantly want to hop on how a woman looks because they use the excuse that because she has a nasty attitude or yeah, she's just such an ugly person that she deserves at that time. She deserves for you to get on your upload a video, dogging her out every time you get a chance to. Okay. Now I don't know if the people who are listening to this video, if you've ever heard of Alicia Baumgartner, right? But she is a boxer, right? As well as Clarissa Shields. Okay. And a lot of people have been getting really tired of Clarissa Shields and her shenanigans lately. Um, and if people don't know, she slapped Alicia Baumgartner some time ago and got banned from MVP events. That's the most valuable promotions. That's a promotional company for women's boxing. And Clarissa Shields was banned from MVP events after slapping Alicia Baumgartner, right? Alicia Baumgartner, if you don't know what she looks like, she's Blasian. She's black and Asian, okay? Has a small figure. She's like around the 130s and stuff like that. And a lot of people would consider her to be very attractive and very pretty, right? Well, I think she is, okay? But I also think that Clarissa Shields is nice looking. I really do think that Clarissa Shields is nice looking. Not all the time, right? Not when she just have her hair looking any kind of way and, stuff like that. But when Clarissa Shields cleans herself up, I really think that she looks nice. Maybe I'm the only one that sees it that way. Okay. But I want to say this. So this guy, I like to look at his lives. Sometimes I don't look at it. Sometimes I do because I look at other stuff and his lives go on a long time, like 4 hours and stuff, 3 to 4 hours. But he uploaded a short, and the title of it is that Clarissa Shields, uh, Alicia Baumgartner is making Clarissa Shields jealous. And it showed this real glamorous picture of Alicia Baumgartner where she was dressed up, her hair was looking nice, and she had on a nice dress. Looked like a photo shoot. Looked like she had a photo shoot, right? And regardless if you think that Alicia Baumgartner might look better than her or not, it doesn't matter. I don't really care for this type of comparison like that. I really don't care for that. And this is what I get sick of with the black community. You really want to criticize. Let's just be clear. People talking about what Clarissa has an ugly attitude. Listen, if Clarissa looked like Beyonce, if Clarissa Shields looked like Halle Berry, if Clarissa Shields looked like maybe Jennifer Lopez or Vanessa Williams, but still had an ugly attitude, they would have said would be or like Lauren London, right? Lauren London, right? Very very pretty girls and ladies, right? They would just say, "Well, she's beautiful, but she just ugly on the inside." That's what they would say, but they would acknowledge that yeah, she's very beautiful, right? They would just say that she's ugly on the inside, but they would always acknowledge that she's very beautiful. Okay. Or who else? Megan Good, right? If all of those people had terrible attitudes, they would just say these women have a bad attitude, but they would not deny how they look on the outside, right? So the fact that some of these guys want to keep getting on how Clarissa looks and talk about how she's jealous of Alicia Baumgartner, and this guy uploads this short showing a photo of Alicia Baumgartner where it looked like she had a photo shoot and she's just looking, real pretty, real nice, and said that Alicia Baumgartner is making Clarissa jealous. That's just adding to the divisiveness right there. I get that Clarissa put her hands on Alicia, and they fell out. But when you do stuff like that, you add to the divisiveness, and you really add to the divisiveness of women, right? I don't really care for when men like to do stuff like that. And this guy is in his 50s, and Clarissa Shields is 31. And it just seems like at some point I get that she's acting all kinds of crazy. But you being 20 years older than her, why are you? And Alicia is like 32. Why would you put up something like that? Like put up a short saying Clarissa is jealous of Alicia, and you showing this gorgeous pictures of Alicia. And then I look in the comment section, it's probably some men, but it's a bunch of women, a bunch of black women talking about how Clarissa looks like a man and how Clarissa can never look like that and how Alicia is just so beautiful. I'm gonna say this, and I could be wrong. It doesn't matter because being wrong or right is a matter of somebody else's opinion. I don't blame black women. I mean, excuse me. I don't blame black men for messing with white women. I don't blame black men for going to white women. I didn't see one comment criticizing this man for what he did. He put up a picture of Alicia Baumgartner showing how beautiful she looks in this picture. And I agree that she did. I'm not going to like knock anybody. Alicia didn't tell him to do that. That was divisive what he did. And what he's doing is he is further dividing women. He's further dividing women. Yeah, Clarissa slapped her. But when you go put up these photos of Alicia saying, oh, Clarissa's just jealous of her, you're further adding to the problem of women being divided. Even though I know Clarissa is male identified as it is, but when men do this type of stuff, the men are the reason why women act the way they do, right? Women get these ways about them from this particular type of society, a patriarchal society, where women compete against each other. But I won't even say the most disappointed, what I already realized was going to happen was, I read the comments and it was quite a few black women in the comment section. And not one black woman corrected him. And I guarantee you let a white woman who's a boxer or a singer, even if she's acting crazy, if she's acting like the most distasteful person in the world, like say how Taylor Swift was when she was on her days of acting like a black woman, right? When not Taylor Swift, what was her name? I forget her name. I think she was a Disney actress, a singer, or whatever, but I forget her name, but not Taylor Swift. It's another young lady, white woman, young white woman, who she was all twerking and doing all that stuff and acting like a black woman from the hood, but she was a white woman and she was doing all that stuff, you know. Or imagine a white woman who's a boxer. And she can have an attitude just as nasty as Clarissa Shields, right? Just as nasty, right? What I know that white women won't tolerate, white women, yeah, they will criticize her, talk about how she acting, but what they won't do is sit there and allow a white man to get up there and constantly call her ugly. And then they go along with it. That's something that white women won't have. As much as they might not like their other fellow white woman, they're not going to allow this white man to get online and constantly call her ugly. Even if she's not the cutest thing in the world, they're not going to have it. White women do have more of a sisterhood. They have more of a code. Okay, not to say that Clarissa is anybody's sister, but at the same time, these men are divisive. Okay. And had it been a white man that did something like that showed say if they showed what's an attractive Taylor Swift, who's an attractive white woman? I don't know, just an attractive white woman. And they show her picture. They put a short up of her and show her a picture of where she took some photos and she looked real nice. And say, see, this person, you're jealous of her. You're jealous of her. You know, a white woman would have had a problem with that. white women would have had a problem with that. They would have immediately saw that you're having these women compete against each other even further. So I mean, I just don't. The way I looked at the comments, and these other women are getting online, calling her ugly, saying that she looks like a man. I get disgusted, and I understand why black men most of the time seem to prefer white women. Black women is really starting to be quite annoying. I can understand that Clarissa Shields has done the most, but what I cannot agree on is another man, especially a man that's 20 years older than her, posting a picture of another woman who's a boxer, posting a picture of somebody that she got into it with, and say, "See, Clarissa's just jealous of her." And you posting a picture of her looking glamorous. So basically, you're saying that Clarissa's not cute. You're saying that she's ugly. Why are you, as a man, doing that? And you're 20 years older than Clarissa. And then you have women, probably older women, that go along with that stuff. Okay, and so I just wanted to talk about that. How basically not what he did, but it's the women that continue to go along with it. And you know what? Monique spoke about that too. Monique, the comedian, I get that she's, what you call it, a mammy and all that stuff. And Monique hopped on black women about how black women are just calling Clarissa ugly and calling her all these names. And once again, they like to use the excuse because Clarissa has a bad attitude, so they feel like they have the right to go around just constantly calling her ugly. Okay. And Monique checked black women for that too. Like, black women, you should be ashamed of yourselves for just like calling another black, regardless of how she act, to go around and agree with these men, calling her ugly and calling her Clarence and all that stuff. No. Mm-mm-mm-mm. And like I say, Alicia Baumgartner looked really nice in that picture, but I'm telling you, I've seen some really, really nice pictures of Clarissa Shields. I've seen some really nice pictures of Clarissa Shields. When Clarissa Shields put on that makeup and she have her hair done and she lost all that weight now, she, honestly, if you would have put a picture of Clarissa next to Alicia, now most people would just say, if you would just see them in person, then yeah, you would say that Alicia might look better than Clarissa. If you just meet them in person, then yeah. But if Clarissa was to do a photo shoot with her makeup done and her hair done, and her body is smaller and all that stuff, I'm gonna tell you, it's just my opinion. Alicia is not looking that much better than Clarissa when Clarissa cleans herself up. But see, because Clarissa have the features that a lot of black people seem to just really have an aversion to, which is a bigger nose. I would say darker skin, but mostly a bigger nose. She is a bigger nose. And she has more masculine looking features. But to be honest with you, sometimes I think Alicia Baumgartner has at least masculine features too. Just being honest, okay. But because Clarissa have these features of a big nose and some masculine features, although when Clarissa is dolled up with that makeup, she really don't look all masculine. She looks really nice to me. And I don't know why nobody else seems to be able to see that. Is it just something wrong with me? Right. But anyway, yeah, I'm done. I just want to talk about the black women who just go along with these men that want to call Clarissa ugly and call her all these names and then compare her to Alicia Baumgartner. And you got these black women that get in the comments to go along with that craziness, that divisiveness, and all of that stuff. See, you don't hear these black men comparing Papoose to other men. Are they comparing Papoose to Easy the Block, the one that's messing with Remy Ma? Are these black men comparing Papoose to him? See, black men are more on code than black women. And I'm not trying to be on code with anybody, but I definitely can see that black men are on code. They ain't comparing Papoose to no other man, saying this man is better than you, saying this man is better than Papoose. No, you know. But anyway, yeah, no, I just totally I can. This is why I'm just not really for the black women as I see them in this particular dimension, in this realm. I just cannot defend black women because of what they continue to do. And I do understand why black men choose white women over them. I get that it's self hate on the black man's part too. But at the same time, black women, white women would never allow a white man to constantly hop on how another white woman looks, even if she's showing her behind. Even if she's showing her behind, white woman is not having that. White women are not gonna tolerate a white man constantly calling another fellow white woman ugly all the time and comparing her to other white women. White women will not tolerate that because they understand that that's divisive. Okay, but black women just seem to be always okay with this degradation. They seem to always be okay with it. And so I'm not a one to say, oh well, whatever, I could just see why sometimes the white woman is more preferred, because other than the fact that she's in a she's like at the top right now, so it helps his status when he's with her because she's at the top, so it helps his status. But at the same time, black women continue to show time and time again that they don't really love themselves, that they don't really value themselves um, the way the other groups of women do. Black women continue to show that. And so when you don't really love yourself, then you really can't choose. You cannot expect anybody else to love you either. If you don't have self-respect, you cannot expect anybody else to respect you either. But anyway, with that being said, I will talk later.